All right, this here is the beginning. Goodness gracious, it looks like an outdoor store threw up. Not you, Jeff. This is a long time planned adventure. Me and Mr. Grigg, I don't know, 15 or more years.
At least 15 years.
Have planned this adventure. Coosa River Adventures. We're going to head to the Tallapoosa River. It's a 50-mile float, 3 days, 2 nights, tropical storm, kind of typical of what we do, you know, that and rabid beef coons and possibly a glacial runoff. We're not sure. You never can tell what happens. Anyway, this is the gear. These are the boys. See y'all on the river. Well, that's beautiful up there, ain't it? Huh?
I kind of want to go up.
Just to prove that this ain't a fishless trip, I caught one. They've been few and far between, but we've been able to catch a couple. Oh, pretty spotted bass. All right. Surveying Camp 1. The water's about 6 feet higher than what it was yesterday. So thankfully we still have good sandbars to camp on. So looking forward to it. Going to set up camp here shortly. All right, got camp set up. Of course, definitely important part of this is grub. Now I pre-made foil packs. It's got steak, taters, and collards in it already seasoned up. So I'm cooking it on my little Kelly Kettle grill there. So it's just all double foiled up and seasoned up already. So I didn't have to carry salt, pepper, nothing like that. I've got everything I need in those packs. Just as they thaw throughout the day, put them on the grill and go with it. So looking forward to supper. We've certainly worked for it today. Rob and Jacob's over there getting their grub on. All right, let's see what we got. Deal. Ooh. And you look at that right there. Oh, goodness gracious. Now that is fit to eat. I got some redneck collards and some creek bank taters and then some good old steak that I had pre-froze up and then heated up just like this, ma'am. Thank you, Lord. Let's eat. First one out. It's raining. It rained yesterday. It's going to rain today. It's going to rain tomorrow. Unfortunately, my waterproofing on my tent wasn't the most successful. So it's going to be a pretty miserable couple of days, but hey, that's part of the adventure. I got coffee going, fixing to get some breakfast and hit the river. So once we get all this stuff loaded up. Now it's time to load all this stuff up, get on the river. What a chore. Sounds like one of the boys upriver just caught a good one. They've been few and far between, but we've caught fish. It's just been we've had to work for every one of them. Oh, there's one. All right. That'll work. Speaking of working for them, that'll work. Thank you, little spot. Doesn't even look like Alabama. I mean, just the height of the walls, not my part of Alabama anyway, but I mean, you see how high that is, the trees on the top. It's unbelievably gorgeous. And of course the problem is we want to stop and fish everywhere and we got a long way to go. All right.
Is that a largemouth?
That's a spot.
Is it?
Nice one.
Yeah, it is. I hear you. Old spot slayer,
How about that?
spot remover.
Now this is your lesson. Jameson was back there fishing and I jumped in front of him and caught this right in front of him. So this is a dirty fish. Thank you, little spot. Dirty. Well, let go of my glove. I found us a pretty good little old spot for setting up just for a lunch, and decided to brew up a cup of coffee. So I'm working out on my little old Kelly kettle. This is kind of neat. You just sort of charge it with whatever you can pick up that's dry and go from there. In a few minutes we'll have hot water, have a midday cup of coffee, and get back out. You don't want to know where my rain gear is. This is what happens when you go out in a tropical storm. Oh well, all part of the adventure. There was no way to actually catch the adventure when it happened. But you see the boat moving right there? Yeah. This boat was on the upriver side of our tents this morning. We ended up, you got it, Jeff? Jeff is standing actually out there close to where our fire ring was.
Yeah, I was knee deep with a 36-inch inseam.
And this shows you how you need to be aware. Unfortunately, through the early this morning, I woke up early at, listening to the hoot owls, and Rob moved in his tent, or Jacob moved in his tent, which was close to mine, and it felt like water. And I thought, that's just crazy on this air mattress. I couldn't hear it. I didn't hear a thing, but we were floating. All of our gear was under. All the boats were, thankfully, 3 or 4 of our boats were used to hold up the structure. Rob's boat was barely floating. I grabbed it, got it. So we didn't lose anything huge. We probably lost a little bit of my Kelly kettle kit and some of Jameson's silverware over there. But yeah, all this, it'll be interesting to see if yesterday evening's picture, I'll try to compare what it is today so you could kind of see what happened. But dang, thank you, Lord. It could have been a whole lot worse.
No kidding.
It could have been a lot worse. We keep saying that everything is all part of the adventure, but I don't like these parts of these adventures. Just as another update, this is after breakfast and coffee. You can see the water is still rising. There's the trees. Our tents were on the other side of those trees by a considerable distance. I'll see if we can, I'll try to put the pictures, kind of show where what was. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, we're thankful. This is definitely a praise. Thank you, Lord, because it could have been a lot worse. But just goes to show you, if there's been a lot of rain. I mean, we had a lot of rain on us, but it was just a steady rain. That wasn't awful. But Robert made the point that there was a lot of rain north of us, so those lakes are inundated. And that's what's happened is they let go of the dams. All right, so the CFS on this river went from 2,000 yesterday to 15,600 today. So you know, like I said, it's let this be a safety point and all, and we'll talk about that a little bit. I know Jeff's got an excellent video on it, but the first thing we did was make sure everybody was okay. Second thing we did was secure boats. Then we started worrying about gear, but your boat is your lifeline out of here. So everybody's PFDs and paddles were on the boats. So we secured all that, and once we had all that, then we started ripping gear, bringing it to high ground. The funny thing is, the high ground that we brought it to was there. So it is no longer high ground, you know. We're all the way back, pushed back to the tree line here. But we're saddling up. We'll be floating out of here shortly, but all part of the adventure. Yeah, don't miss that. And there ain't no sign. We made it, J-Bob, we made it. Don't miss that turn for sure.
Oh man, oh.
All right, well, some folks say 50, some folks say 47. It felt like 150 plus 47, but we're here. It's been a good trip. Very thankful. Heading out of Fort Duluth. See all the gear.
Later became Fort Jackson.
We hauled too much stuff.